bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's good? Happy Monday. Good afternoon and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and on television, Fox 34 News Now. Also YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, a whole heap of ways you can take us in, however you're doing. So thank you for making us part of your Monday afternoon. Alongside Trent, Hilliard, I'm Chois Woodman. Evelina and Lucas both across the way taking care of us. You can also pipe in any comments, questions. It's never too early for season predictions, whatever you may have. Bring it all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app anywhere with you. Even listen in if you are out in Tanana, Alaska.
Tanana.
I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Probably not, but it's spelled like banana with a T replacing the B, so I'm going to go with Tanana.
Bananas. I'm allergic to bananas. So.
You told me that, and this was like a late life development, right?
Yeah, like about 6-7 years ago.
And what did we learn was in the banana family?
So,
was it avocados?
Avocado. Yep.
Never would have guessed that.
Yep, so can't do those either. So.
Golly.
But I could probably visit Tanana. I think I'd be safe.
I don't know. You might get itchy. Is this banana thing, was that like a big blow to you? Were you a big banana guy?
You know, it's not something I'm like, oh, gosh, I couldn't live without. But, yeah, you know, I mean, eat bananas your whole life and things are fine.
It's
and
really weird.
See them in the grocery store and think, hey, I hadn't had a banana in a while.
Bam.
Yeah. So I haven't gotten brave enough to try. I still want to see, like, cooked, like, you know, banana chips.
Okay.
Something like that, you know.
Yeah. So it's not like so severe if I brought in some Buc-ee's banana chips in here, you wouldn't like start.
No, yeah, I have to eat it. So it's not a touch
Banana
thing or
particles in the
anything.
air,
No,
okay.
it's
That's
not like a peanut allergy or some of that stuff that whatever you have to avoid. It's just
I think these kids with the peanut allergies just need to tough it out. There was no such thing when we were kids.
Well, at break, we could go and I think for a dime or a quarter get a little bag of peanuts that they had, and we get peanuts and a little thing of milk, and at break and go out and
I'm probably getting a bunch of angry texts, or Jamie's going to get some emails in from that because there's parents
people
out there like,
you don't care.
It is serious. I'm just joking. I get it, but it is kind of weird. Like
we
grew
is
up,
how,
and
that,
everybody had peanuts everywhere.
Peanuts on the flights, and
now we're worried about nut particles, and it's like
But it can be evidently very deadly to certain people.
Apparently so. The peanuts have taken over, or the allergy, I guess. Mm-hmm. We'll talk more than nuts and peanuts and bananas today. Well, probably we will. We'll get into it's trade deadline day, so Lucas and Evelina are going to keep us apprised of any updates. They'll keep a watch on the ticker and see if anything big happens. Rangers sure went into the trade deadline date with a big old thud.
Yeah.
God, that was bad. That was I don't get as invested in individual. I watch a lot of baseball, but I don't let it, run my being or anything. I don't let it ruin a weekend, typically when the Rangers have a bad weekend, because there's 162 games in a season. But that one just stunk.
It was just swing series, it felt like.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you knew what you had going in. This was the last series against the Astros. I didn't realize that going in. But the last one for the whole year, so the last you can make up head-to-head ground. And it was just as disappointing as it could have been. There were moments where you you take a lead or tie it up, and then you just blow it once again. It was just a bad weekend for the Rangers, especially when you know what you had on the line going in, which is first place in the division. Now, there's a ton of baseball left.
Right.
I don't think the Astros or anybody in the league are one that's going to separate a bunch. I say that, we'll see. But it's still just deflating after that weekend for the Rangers. Deadline, though, saw Tarek Skubal go to the Dodgers. Surprise.
Wow. Just loading up. And then when I saw that, and everybody being, oh, this is unfair, I thought, I just kind of how the rest of the Big 12 feels about Texas Tech,
that's exactly
isn't it?
the parallel I drew this morning.
I was like, this is kind of where we are, so I can't get too upset about it.
Nope, that's exactly what I was thinking this morning. I'm like, this has got to be how the rest of the Big 12 feels. It's I can't really get overly mad at the Dodgers over this because that's how they're feeling, probably. Yeah. We'll see how much longer that works because it feels like this Protect College Sports thing is moving along. Yeah. I say that. It's a pretty large salary cap, if you want to call it, basically a $50 million salary cap if that's what ends up passing. Right. Which Tech can probably keep up with, but I don't know that there's a ton of other teams in the Big 12 or ACC that will keep up. So we'll see how that projects moving forward. Did you go see Spider-Man?
No, not this weekend. Did. Yeah, we're waiting. Definitely on the list of things to see, but most of those, as long as you just nobody releases a spoiler or something like that, stay off the social media that talks about anything like that, then I'm good. We did go, when In Game and those were released, we were one of the first ones. We got in line, got the tickets, did all that because didn't want to get spoiled on that. But this one, not as big of a thing. So
Spider-Man was the second biggest opening weekend ever, behind Avengers Endgame. Okay, second biggest box office weekend, $355 million domestically, $357 for Avengers Endgame, so not much off that. And then it made $927 million globally over the first weekend. $1.2 million was what Endgame did in the opening weekend, but still, man, people wanted to go see the. Well, it just shows that there's still interest for people to want to go out and have the movie experience. Sure. I'm glad it didn't die. People thought it may die with COVID. Right. The movie experience. I'm glad it did not because I'm the same way. Yep. I like to go out.
I'll even spend my $9 for a movie popcorn when I go.
Yeah, me too.
So it's like popcorn. That's the big splurge.
You big butter guy?
Oh yes, load it down. Okay, load it down.
Me too. Evelina, butter, you're in.
Yes.
Big time?
Yes, a lot of butter.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm enough. I've got to get extra napkins to put on the bottom so it doesn't soak through.
Yes, me too. We always do that because it gets dangerous. Yep. All right. Y'all bring in your thoughts, your comments. We will get into some football chatter today as the Red Raiders are 1 month and 2 days away from kicking off the season. The countdown is very much on. More betting apps and those sorts of things putting out their Big 12 odds. I'm going to spoil it for you. Texas Tech is at the top. We'll tell you by how much and keep you updated with the trade deadline as we roll along.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is time for more projections. The blind leading the blind over here. That is the Bottom Line. 100.7 The Score mobile app. Choice, Jamie, and Lucas hanging out with you today. And our team, as we've crossed the halfway point, our team today is the Iowa State Cyclones. It's kind of a couple of duds back to back. We picked Kansas last week to finish up. And we have them at the bottom of the league because you can't go any lower than 0-9. That's where we picked the Jayhawks. We'll see how low we go with Iowa State, because they are picked by many as the worst team in the league. All right. 5 of the games are already picked for us by us, so we'll reveal those as we get to them. But we're starting out with Southeast Missouri State. I think they call it SECMO something.
I thought it was SEMO.
Sure, that sounds more.
SEMO. This is Cyclone Club Day of Honor.
Seems pretty honorable.
Uh-huh.
Are you taking the
I'll take-
Cyclones or the red-looking birds?
I will take the Cyclones.
I guess the Cyclones have a red-looking bird, too. I'll also take the Cyclones. Blazing 1-0 start, Lucas.
I'll sweep that.
All
Take
right.
this Iowa State.
Now the Cy-Hawk Trophy up for grabs. 6:30 p.m.
This is sponsored by Iowa Corn. It's corn.
It's cold. Kinnick Stadium on NBC and Peacock. Jamie, you going Cyclones or Birdies?
I'll go with the Hawkeyes.
Okay. I will also go with the Hawkeyes. I usually pick Iowa State in this matchup, but I just don't think they're going to have it, especially early season.
The spread is 11.5 in this game.
Already.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's.
I mean, some years they don't even score 11.5 combined.
That's a
in
good
that
point.
matchup.
You're right.
That's a good point. Is there an over-under on it already?
41.5.
Good old Big Ten game.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa.
1-1 start for the Cyclone season. Another bird. Man, they're playing a lot of birds. Bowling Green up next. Falcons or Cyclones, Jamie? This one in at Jack Trice.
I'll take Iowa State.
I will take Iowa State, but not feel just wonderful about it. So, Lucas?
Iowa State gets the win.
2-1 start for the Cyclones. Up next, we've already picked this game against the Utah Utes. What was there a special theme to it?
Hall of Fame weekend whiteout game.
Hall of Fame.
Sponsored by Wellmark.
They're already going whiteout. They know it this early.
They
Okay.
are a choice.
Utah, we all picked. I say that we all picked. You and I picked a loss for Iowa State, but the producer at the time picked a win for Iowa State over Utah. That was Joel. He was not very high on the Utes. But Lucas gets to wear that pick for today. Then at home against West Virginia, we also already picked this one.
This is homecoming. It's color at Cardinal game.
Jamie picked what do you remember what you picked?
Oh, no, but I'm right now leaning towards a West Virginia win.
You picked a Iowa State win.
Okay, Iowa State win.
I picked
I'm
a West
very
Virginia
confident.
win, and Ben, sorry Lucas, picked a Iowa State win. I picked a West Virginia win, but overall it is a win for the Cyclones.
Okay.
So they do have one. They're already ahead of Kansas. Probably don't need to ask, but at BYU on a Friday night game, October 9th.
I'll take the Cougars.
I will also take the Cougs. Lucas?
Yeah, I'll take BYU.
At Arizona. That is a tough back-to-back stretch there.
Sure is. I'll take Arizona.
I will also take Arizona.
Arizona.
And we've already picked the Oklahoma State game. Jamie chose Iowa State at home against Oklahoma State.
Yes, he did.
Do you still feel confident in that?
No, he does not.
You had OSU at 6-6.
Yeah.
So you chose Iowa State. Lucas and I both chose Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State has a 56%
win
percentage.
on FPI.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just feels
So
like,
that's not a huge.
Yeah.
feels like a game that just feels scarier than it should be.
So overall, a loss. At Baylor's up next. This one's a pretty interesting one.
Baylor.
Because of the location, I'll also go Baylor.
Baylor.
The L's are stacking up for the Cyclones versus Cincinnati.
Does somebody have to win?
Someone does have to win, typically.
Okay.
It's a Midwestern clash here.
I'm going to follow ESPN and take Cincinnati.
I will take Cincinnati as well.
I'm going to take Iowa State. That's the only game I have picked Iowa State to win in Big 12 play. And we've already picked the final two. At UCF, Jamie went with a Cyclone loss. I also picked the Cyclones to lose. Lucas also picked the Cyclones to lose. And then Kansas State at home.
Senior day.
Which is the Farmageddon game. Man, that's a long gap between games for Farmageddon. Because remember, they played the very first game of the season at week 0 last year.
Very true.
And then it'll be the very last game of the season for them. Jamie, you picked
K-State.
K-State. I also picked K-State, and Lucas also picked K-State. So if you're tallying at home, that is a whopping 3-9 record for the Cyclones, 1-8 in Big 12 play. Jamie was a little bit higher than the rest of us, going 4-8 for the Cyclones. I went 3-9, and, well, I say the rest of us. Lucas, the producer chair, I won't put it all on you, went 4-8 for the Cyclones as well, including 2 Big 12 wins. So there you go. Iowa State and Kansas. I believe we've gotten the bottom 2 teams out of the way.
Okay.
On our blind projections. 3-9 and 1-8 in conference play. What is the ceiling for that team? Like absolute peak. That's what we've predicted as a group. You went 4-8 for them. If things go well, can they even get to a bowl game in your mind?
I don't
I'd
think
say
so.
5.
5 feels like the ceiling.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm with you.
I just don't. When you look at the schedule with it, part of why we picked Kansas so low is they've got a tough schedule. Seems like they got all the wrong games at home and on the road. But, I mean, we picked West Virginia. Maybe the Baylor game could swing. Maybe the Oklahoma State game is one that can swing over, but or UCF. There's a few that could go that way, but the more winnable games or teams they play against, the bottom teams, it seems to be mostly on the road. So that's not usually a good sign for a team that's scratching to get to a bowl game. We'll see. Sometimes coaches surprise us. Maybe Jimmy Rogers is amazing.
Maybe.
If I got his name right. Not sure.
It's Roger Jimmy's, I think.
Dang it. Always do that. All right, keep the thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Someone says, the problem is that the Rangers won't go fill the Seager-DeGrom spots with equitable players if they were to trade them. It's back to just filled positions and no star power. To get a DeGrom or a Seager type of player is probably $10 million more annually versus those existing contracts, and the Rangers will not spend to get close to the same level players. I think that's a pretty coherent thought. I think you're probably right. The Rangers, under this ownership, under Ray Davis, have not been super big spenders. There have been moments where they'll go get a Corey Seager or Jacob DeGrom, but it doesn't feel like, as a whole, you would call that ownership group a big spending group.
Yeah, no, that offseason where you added Seager and Simeon to the middle infield,
I think you got DeGrom that same summer, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or
yeah.
maybe that was the summer before, but it was still.
But he was hurt, and then
he was hurt.
Yeah, maybe, but it
yes.
felt like they were willing to spend then, but not as much now.
No, and we'll see. I mean, it's a tough balance unless you're the Dodgers. It's a tough balance you've got to find as an ownership group, and you're trying to also figure out how to bring players up in your farm system. So if you can get good farm players, you gotta get them. But it seems like the Rangers are just hanging in that middle territory where you're not doing either. This is the bottom line. Question of the day next on 100.7 Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday afternoon. Bottom line on 100.7 Score and the 100.7 Score mobile app. Presented by Happy State Bank. Chois Woodman and Jamie Lentz joining you from the First United Bank studio. You'll keep the thoughts, comments, questions coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll return to a few of yours here shortly. But before we do, let's get to a question from me, please.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, Jamie, Lucas, our fine listening audience. I'm going to ask you today. We're going to shift the conversation a little bit over to basketball. We've been talking a lot of talking about a lot of trade deadline. Baseball trade deadline and little tech football. But some big news came out on Friday. Sort of, we think. That a judge in Colorado says, everybody that wants the 5 for 5, take it. Not exactly that, but the class of 2022, they're like, you're good. Now there's less clarity on it, on whether that can actually be an overarching rule. But let's just assume, Jamie, that you have Stillwell and Williams on your team. Okay? Atwell, I think, is still up in the air at this point, but could be on your team. Let's just say those two players will be Red Raiders this year. Okay? For the sake of this question. What were your expectations for Texas Tech, Jamie, before the addition of those two players, and what are they now in Texas Tech for the Texas Tech basketball season? And I'm hunting for postseason expectations and Big 12 finish. Really is what I'm asking.
Before I had you at about 7 or 8.
Okay.
Finish in Big 12 play, getting to the postseason. No expectations beyond that.
Okay.
With those three guys, I've got you at about. You saying 3 or you saying 2?
I'm saying 2 at the moment because I think Atwell's still very much up in the air.
Okay. With those 2, I'll put you at 4.
Okay.
With you winning one postseason game.
Just one as a 4? If you're 4, I would guess you're a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, right? Okay.
I don't know. I think you could finish 4th in the Big 12 and be ranked, in the 20s.
Sure. I mean,
19 or 20.
You have a pretty tough. Yeah, that's true. You have a pretty tough non-conference schedule too, so that may factor into seeding and those sorts of things. Lucas?
I agree with Jamie. Before all this came out on Friday, I would have them about 7 or 8 as well. Now that just kind of predicting, I would say I would have them probably tied for 4th with Iowa State right now, going to the Sweet 16. Another kind of caveat, well, not really, but just thinking of when Toppin will be ready to play too.
That will matter.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but I think with Stillwell and Williams possibly returning to Lubbock, Sweet 16, Elite 8, 4th, 5th in the Big 12, probably making second game of the Big 12 tournament. So, definitely trending in the right direction.
Interesting. I'm a bit of a homer, Jamie. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. I just want to make it clear. I think Texas Tech, with those players, I think you go from where I had you somewhere around the 7 to 10 seed in the NCAA tournament and a probably 7 or 8 spot in the Big 12. I think you go from there, which lines up with you. No expectations. Maybe win a game, but nothing beyond that. You go from there to being a top 5 team in the Big 12, and 5 can be really good. Anywhere from 3 to 5 is where I'd put you, and second weekend tournament team, if not beyond.
Okay.
I just think that you're getting exactly what you've been hunting for in the 2 players. We've talked about the guard play. You're pretty set at guard. You're counting on a freshman there for one of them, one of those spots. But Cruz Davis, it appears the kid from UNLV, why am I forgetting his name? Lawhorn is a really good scorer. Appears you've got some really good scoring in the guard positions. JT Toppin, when back, will be, I assume, if he's back to where he was before, he's one of the top 5 players in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And most teams don't get that kind of addition in the season. And what you're wanting is some bigs. Now, the one thing you're still lacking, unless Latrell Hoover or Mario Quintock really blossoms this year, is still a rim protector type, big, true center.
It's like we talked about, you and I last week, Josiah Mosley, too.
Yeah, but you get a lot more freedom with Mosley.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
In the usage of Mosley.
But you're not playing him as a 5.
No. But I'm saying with the addition of the other 2. Stillwell will play a 5 at times. It'd be an undersized 5, like you have with Toppin.
6'8".
Yeah, but he would be like Toppin, undersized 5 at times. But I think it gives you much more flexibility with those 2 guys, where Darrion Williams can go play a 3, while Josiah Mosley's a 4. So I think your roster depth, even with just 2 pieces, is exponentially better than it would have been a couple of weeks ago. So how much different is if Atwell's in there for you? Is he worth a whole nother round in the tournament?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, he literally had the best shooting season that a Red Raider's ever had.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and probably you can move to 3 or 4 instead of 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, I hope he's back, but also get it if he's with the Bulls. If he's like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this pro thing, because you never know when it's going to come back. If I'm him and the opportunity's there, I hope he's taking that in the pros. I'm hoping he.
Yeah, no.
If
definitely.
the opportunity's there, you never know how these things work. And maybe he doesn't want to fluctuate with an Exhibit 10 contract and go back and forth. Maybe he just wants the more stable life for another year in Lubbock. Or there's a chance it's not in Lubbock. I hope that doesn't happen. It's my least favorite option. Apparently LSU is pursuing Donovan Atwell too, which wouldn't be fun.
Super fun.
Yeah. All right, y'all continue to bring in thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Someone says, get those 2 and win only 1 postseason game. Utter failure, in my opinion. Okay. With those 2 and Toppin back for Big 12 play, at least Sweet 16, likely Elite 8. Okay. Yeah, I think, obviously, we're talking in...
Still think I have question marks with playing against a team that's got size.
So it'd be like last year, though, right? Is how you'd view it?
Well, I mean, you had...
Except you'd have more size this year.
Who was the big man last year? I'm forgetting his name now. That left the Red Raiders.
Well, 2 years ago was Federico.
Yeah, not the big comma.
The big comma. I wish that would have caught on more. That would have... Well, apparently he was rather forgettable because I can't come up with it.
Is it Luke Bamboye?
Yeah, Bamboye is exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the deal, though. You've had those guys, and they haven't done a ton for you. Federico and Bamboye the last 2 seasons.
But they kept JT Toppin from having to defend at the 5.
Fair. That's fair. And that's where I think if you can get out of a Quintuck or Hoover what you got out of Bamboy and Federico the last 2 years, then you can live with it at least. It's the bottom line on 100.7 Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is time for Tell Me I'm Wrong. Half hour left with you in the Bottom Line. 100.7 The Score and 100.7 The Score mobile app. He's Jamie Lent. I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White across the way. And we get to tell Jamie he is wrong today. What do you think?
All right. I have a very simple statement that I'm going to throw at you today, Choice.
Okay, throw it. Be gentle.
If you're going to lose a game in 2026 during the regular season, it's more likely to be at home than it is on the road.
I wondered if you were going to go there. Because this is like kind of alternate of your question today. You asked this morning on the morning drive the 3 most likely games that you would lose, and my number one answer was at Oklahoma State.
Okay.
So, therefore, to stay consistent, I'm going to say you're wrong.
All right.
But I think the next 2 on my list are at home.
Only 2?
Of most likely, yes, because Baylor's somewhere in there to me. There's a kind of just a nerves situation just because of how you've played against the Bears a couple times in the last 4 years. Though those both came here, not you beat them up the last time you played there. So Baylor's probably 4th on the list to me, but yes, I think there's a good chance that the home games get pretty nerve-wracking.
Lucas?
There are 2 home games that I believe possibly Texas Tech could lose. One is the given on the University of Houston, and the other one would be Arizona. But I do, looking at the road games, I'm pretty confident in saying Tech should go undefeated on the road.
Okay. Remind me of your top chances to lose, Jamie?
I have the home game to TCU.
Uh-huh.
Is the one that has me the most nervous.
It's a short week.
Oklahoma State would be in my top 3. I think I had it as number 2 today. And then I had Arizona State as number 3, most likely. I'd probably go Houston after that. I'd probably go Arizona after that before I got to another road game.
I have some nerves about Oregon State. Not just the trickiness of playing early season on the road. First road trip with this bunch. And again, it's not really based in anything logically of this year's team. Just like the Baylor thing isn't really based in anything logically of this year's team. It's based on past. And a trip to Wyoming. And a trip to Washington State. And a trip to NC State. Where you've had these early season road trips in the last 4 years that didn't pan out well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's the only reason that's based in that. There's also some nerves at Colorado. I think Colorado does have a talented roster. I don't know if they'll be able to piece it together, and I definitely don't know if they'll be able to piece it together by Game 5. But with just about every road game Texas Tech plays, I think you are going to have, obvious statement of the year, a massive target on your back. So anytime there's blood in the water, that's the hard thing, is it feels like you've got to get off to good starts in these road games. Because if you put blood in the water, Colorado has potential to be a fantastic atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to give fuel to that team. So there's some nerves with the road games for me. And there's probably some confidence that comes along with winning every single one of your home games last year and winning big in every single one of your home games. There's probably some confidence that's built into that. Because it wasn't just a complete cakewalk either. You played some decent teams. Some. Definitely played a decent team in BYU. But, yeah, I think there's...
Feels cakier this year.
You think there's... I think you've got a tougher home schedule this year than you did last year.
I just think the high level that you thought of BYU, I don't
Fair.
think there's that team.
I
But
agree with that.
you're probably right. More depth to this year's home schedule.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'd try to say. Because I think you could lose if things don't go well that day. There's a couple games I'm like, you're not losing that one. But you could lose Houston, you could lose Arizona State, you could lose Arizona, and you could lose TCU. Those 4 home games. Any of the 4, if you have a bad day,
That would stink out loud.
any of them would stink out loud. But I also think you are significantly better than all 4 of those teams.
Yeah.
Also, how many ranked games do you end up playing this year? I'm talking about ranked opponent at the time you play them.
I think Houston will be.
Agreed. Because Houston will be ranked going into the season, and I don't think they're losing before you play them.
Maybe Arizona State.
That's the other one that I think there's a chance of. I think Arizona's possible, though I think they've got a semi-difficult schedule, so maybe they could drop out by that point. I don't know that you're playing another ranked team the whole year.
Doesn't look like it.
Unless Colorado starts off 4-0, you know it'll be a darling thing to rank them, even if they haven't necessarily earned it. I say that. Colorado plays 2 road games against Power 4 opponents. So if they did get off to a 4-0 start, then Colorado could be ranked, even if it's kind of an empty early season ranking. I think there's a possibility there, but don't know that that we would see that.
I'll be surprised if they are.
Someone asked, what's Joey's record at home here at Texas Tech? So you went undefeated last year, which would be 7-0. In 25, I believe you lost, in 24, I believe you lost 1 game. No, you went 5-2 at home. In 2023, you went 4-2 at home. When was Joey's first year? 22, I believe. And in 2022, you went 7-1 at home. Remember, that's the year you beat Houston in the overtime game and beat Texas 7-1 in the first game. I can't believe you had
8 home games?
8 home games that year. That's what it says here. I'm just going by what the record thingy shows on the schedule. I could count them up. Murray State, Houston, Texas, West Virginia, Baylor, Kansas, and Oklahoma. That's 7. They've got it wrong on the website. So 6-1. So I counted up 5 total losses that you've had in going into Joey McGuire's 5th season in Lubbock. So overall, pretty good home record, but not. But there have been a couple that you hoped for or expected to win that you didn't.
Baylor.
Baylor's the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, for sure. All right, T-Money 806 says Arch Beaver Applin III, founder and owner of Buc-ee's, is a 1980 Texas A&M graduate. Headgummit. Poor Jamie's kids. They're going to be on the road next time and be like, nope, we're not going there. I'm not supporting the Aggies. Those buck-toothed Aggies.
I'm not saying that I boycott anything that has an owner that's of a certain school or whatever, but I mean, it feels like Bluebell. I mean, the ballpark's named after them. They've given millions and millions of dollars to get that. They're pretty much in bed together, so so I'll avoid that. I won't avoid Buc-ee's. If I'm going to avoid Buc-ee's, it's because they don't sell Mountain Dew.
He has been consistent with that. You don't like the Mountain Dew Ices? That's what I don't understand. How do you have Mountain Dew Ices and not have the bottled stuff?
Exactly.
That's weird to me.
I don't like ice. I don't eat ices or whatever you do with an icy.
You would drink it, but
okay, drink it, eat it.
Why do you not?
Because I would just rather have a drink.
I think ices are my favorite frozen, like, summertime treat. Period.
Okay.
It may be my favorite drink.
I like a
Coke
good
icy.
popsicle. Yeah.
It's the stuff.
Rocket Pops.
The banana and fudge ones?
Yeah.
Let's go. It is the bottom line. Back for one more next. And most interesting facts of the day on the way on double 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is time for the most interesting facts of the day, brought to you by Dos Equis and the most interesting man in the world. I don't know, I went kind of French on it. He's a Spanish dude.
It's a little weird, but
Dos Equis means 2 X's, in case you were wondering, Jamie.
Thanks, Choice.
That's Jamie Lent. I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas across the way. Jamie, did you know the Red Hot Chili Peppers formed as a band in L.A. in 1982, but that is not their original band name? They were Tony Flo and the Miraculously Majestic Masters of Mayhem.
Okay, what a terrible name.
Well, they figured that
sounds like a good choice
that it was
to switch.
terrible and switched over to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which has been pretty iconic since.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, do you remember when Netflix was in the business of mailing physical DVDs to people's homes?
No.
You really don't remember this?
No, I sure don't.
Do you remember it? This was how Netflix started, and you could get a subscription to Netflix. You would go through their list, and they would mail you a DVD. You would send it back, and they would send you another one,
And then they changed this into Dropboxes.
Dropbox was the thing,
Yep.
You remember Dropbox?
Yeah, I remember.
So basically the same sort of thing, except Netflix was mailing back and forth.
Okay.
Anyway, the first DVD ever sent out by Netflix was Tim Burton's Beetlejuice in March of 1998.
All right.
You could still get the DVD mailed to you until September of 2023 when Netflix finally shut down their mailing. 2023 was the last time you could get some DVDs mailed to you. I wish, if I'd have known that was coming to an end, I would have tried to
get some
mailed to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if they charged me when I kept it. Jamie, did you know there's an Aboriginal language in Australia called Mumbaram? I didn't say that correct, by the way. I think it's actually Mumbabaram, where the word for dog is dog. But it's pure coincidence. They didn't know it was called dog in English. That's just the word they randomly chose themselves, because they had no English contact when the language was created.
Well, that's pretty weird.
I wonder if, because a lot of languages are derived from other languages.
Is that like with croissant? Was that completely random? That in the French language you say croissant, and in the English language you say croissant?
I don't think so, Jamie.
Same exact thing, right?
It's called croissant in English. Come on, Jamie. Cross-ant. I don't think it's the same. No, I think there was.
Oh, okay.
I think there was contact between the English and the French when they were.
Okay, well that's unfortunate.
Languaging up at Babel. Jamie, did you know China should be split into 5 time zones based off of where the world time zones are? But since 1949, the entire country has been on the same time zone for national unity.
Oh.
It creates some crazy time changes at its borders. The largest one is with Afghanistan. When you cross over from China to Afghanistan, there's immediately a 3.5-hour time difference. A half an hour?
Wow, that's crazy.
So you cross a border and it's 3.5 hours difference. That is nuts. What if we were to do that in America? What time zone would be the best to go with?
The Central.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, ours is the best.
I think you're right. I mean, it is centralized. It would be so weird, though. Like, if you're on the same time zone as California, where in San Francisco it's... Oh, man, I'm not going to try to do math. Forget this. I was going to try to figure out, okay, when's it getting really light? Like when the sun's coming up? No. Someone else do the math for me. On-air math. I'm learning my lesson. Someone says Choice avoids Whataburger. Why is that? Is that a UT thing or something? I don't want to... It's like the sausage thing. I don't want to know where my sausage is made or how my sausage is made. Yes, I ignore the fact that Bluebell and the Aggies are linked. I just enjoy my ice cream.
Fair enough.
That's
you
all.
do you.
I don't want to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Jay says, my daily fix of Latino classical. Thank you, chamomile. Okay. I guess that was the music from Los Lobos for most interesting fact of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Latino classical. It's got to be everybody's favorite. Jamie, I mentioned it earlier, but Poly Market, they're the ones with the really weird commercials during the World Cup and stuff. Remember? It's the daily betting site. I guess it's a betting site, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I remember.
They have posted their Big 12 championship odds ahead of the season now. And just put these out. And they do it by percentage. They do like a 100% total over the 16 teams. Of that pie, Texas Tech gets 50% chance.
Only 50, though.
I was wondering if that's where you'd react. How confident are you? Because you could be one Will Hammond injury away from changing everything. And I think that's got to factor into these percentages.
Yeah, but I'm not going to... Because you could say that about a lot of teams about their starting quarterback, right?
Sure you could.
Yeah.
Sure, and you know what? We were talking about... You know what? Kirk Francis should be able to... Before we knew Will Hammond's health was pretty good, Kirk Francis should be able to guide this team because your defense is that good and your running game's that good. So where is your percentage confidence heading into the season that Texas Tech is going to win a Big 12 championship for the second straight year?
I'm probably at like 75%.
It's about where I'm hanging.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone else...
Way above flip a coin.
Right. But that's also kind of crazy that it is flip a coin, because it's flip a coin with one side of the coin being Texas Tech and the other side being the entire Big 12.
Yeah, and it's not a situation like, well, you know, they're two really close,
right,
talented teams, and I just think you'll win because it's your place. I just think you're way more talented than everybody else.
You know, for most of the year, people looked at it as two really talented teams between Texas Tech and BYU last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're getting too caught up in two results from last year? Because I think that's how a lot of people do view it. It's like, we already saw what Tech did with BYU twice last year.
No, I don't think I am. I think it's just more about looking at the rosters and looking the additions that you've made and feeling like, yes, you were really good last year, but then you also added some really, really impressive pieces.
Yeah, I think so. It's not...
Even though you lost some of them, too.
But I think last year absolutely factors into it. And you're showing what you did against BYU two different times. Because
sure,
BYU largely does have a lot of those same pieces. Texas Tech has some of the same pieces, but a lot of the...
A lot of change on the defensive side of the ball, yeah.
Portal, yeah. So, we'll see. Obviously, it's a game that's not played on paper. But on paper, it favors Texas Tech about as much as you can see a team in Power 5 football, Power 4 football favored. T-Man806 says, only thing I'll avoid is Cheez-Its. I'll never purchase another box of them. What did Cheez-Its do to you? Show me on the doll where Cheez-Its touched you wrong. What? Like, that's the most random thing. Is there something that, like, who is Cheez-Its supporting that you don't like? Kind of weird. Never knew. You'll have to tell us, T-Money806, what it is. But we tell you farewell for today. We'll be back from Texas Tech Media Day tomorrow. So
from the galaxy.
That's true. Our first trip into the galaxy. Be able to see all the signs on the field, too. So make sure you join us tomorrow. We have coverage starting at 6 a.m. We'll be live there as well. For Jamie Lent, Trent Hilliard, Lucas White, I'm Chois Woodman. This has been The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.